When the Earth began to upgrade, when everyone takes refuge in other worlds, but only forgot me, even God can't detect my existence. Just because I have a special physique. Just now, I found no one in the house on the way to school. It's like disappearing, and the time has been frozen frame at 2:45. When I was confused, a white-winged angel appeared behind him. She told me everything that happened here, because the experience point of the Earth is full. Need to evolve to the next stage. Time will also stop for 10 years. Manhua will also fill the world. The Earth will also be upgraded into an era of cataclysm. And God, in order to prevent the destruction of mankind, sending humans to another world to learn magic, give them time to train and adapt to magic. But because I have the special skill of hidden shadow, God can't find my existence, and they left me behind. That's all. God's messenger Rita will accompany me for 10 years, because the Earth is currently in a state of powerlessness. So I can't learn magic. All I can do is to exercise hard. Fast forward 5 years, I started learning marksmanship again, and Rita will be there. Another for years in a flash. Rita suggested that I compete with him. I rushed towards him with 9 years of strength. He just waved it. I will be defeated. He also threatened to be my sparring partner every day, although I don't want to, but still persisted under his beating for a whole year. Finally, 10 years later, I dress up for a new beginning. After a friendly farewell to Rita, I was very nervous, standing at the starting point where people disappeared and waiting. But after a few hours, no one came back. Rita appeared behind her, embarrassed, said something might have gone wrong. I'm angry and say it's been 10 years now. Do you want me to wait another 10 years or 100 years? However, 10 years have passed. 20 years, 50 years. People still haven't come back. Although my physique and marksmanship have been perfected, but I can't even remember my parents' faces. 50 years of perseverance has only made me stronger. But how long can I hold on? Will people ever come back? In times of despair, I studied other interests. First, read a book, from novel to business book, to history, geography, chemistry, etc. I have read all the books in the library. I even learned the languages of other countries, until all the books in the world have been read, to traveling the world, from the easternmost point of the Earth to the westernmost point. Although I don't know how long it has been, but I don't have time to say I'm tired. I still have a lot to do before the cataclysm. I went back to slaughter, to butcher. Fortunately, Rita has always been by my side, and Rita said to me, shocked, these 274 years. It's also a long time for angels, but you can do it for so long. Committed to preparing for the future, and I didn't hear it. Concentrate on being my butcher. By 300, slaughter had been fully mastered. Then he learned it to forge, but in 5 years, he only made a sword that couldn't even cut a radish. Rita laughed at me, then keep the sword as a souvenir. In the next 100 years, I made countless different weapons, finally made a perfect gun. So, I repeated my martial arts and various interests, spent countless years. I've done everything I could for 1,000 years. The human body is also starting to reach its limits. Just then, everything is slowly disappearing. The world is being reset. I was also teleported to the very beginning. It turned out to be a cataclysm. Everything happened so suddenly. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to Rita. In the 1,000 years I've been with him, saying there is no emotion is a lie. At this point, people are starting to come back one after another. When I open my eyes again, it's full. I also have a status window in front of me, and everyone around me is talking about the glorious deeds of these 10 years. That means they've increased their magic by 10 years. I'm 1,000 years behind, but I just want to see my parents right now. I'd almost forgotten what they looked like. The moment I saw my mother, all the memories came back. This is the first time in 1,000 years that I have eaten with my parents. But it's not what I imagined. They've been talking for 10 years. The experience of learning magic in different places. When asked about me, I'm afraid they're worried. Had to perfunctory. I dragged my parents to chat late into the night. I reluctantly went back to the room, but found that the gun I spent 100 years forging has not been reset. All I can think of is Rita's reason. When you see an 800 attack gun, for a moment, I didn't know if it was high or low. So, I started going online to find information shared by people from other worlds. Ordinary people in the world over there can only deal with level 5 monsters. You have to reach level 7 to barely become the lowest level soldier. You can change careers after level 10 starts. When you are level 50, you can be included in the strong list. A second job transfer is possible. You can only turn 3 when you reach level 100, but the difficulty is higher than hell. Once turned into a sword, it can stop millions of lions. Don't even think about the 4th turn. No one in the world can succeed. That's all we can gather. Suddenly, a little angel appeared in front of me. He's an angel sent by God to teach me how to use magic, to make up for my 10-year gap. And, of course, Rita. He wept before the angels. I was alone on Earth for 1,000 years, and the only one who can't use magic. Rita called him here for a reason, because he can make me 10 times more productive. It only takes 1 year, but the spell can only be activated on the head, so it stays on my head all year. Fortunately, the angel cast a spell. The lower creatures can't see him. The next day, I arrived at school early, but still no one can see me. Is it because of my hidden skills? But I can't turn it off. The angel said that my skills are good. At least it's much better than these lower creatures. I used him to gather information openly, learning that there is a strong presence in the school. They call him the Queen. Probably no one has seen him in person. Suddenly there was a commotion outside the classroom. A swarm of insects arrives. Not only did they get bigger, the skin and the physical structure are different. Several groups of people who fought have died. The students are all scared away at the moment, because the data is reset when they are sent back. All become level 1. And the angel said to me, now is the time to upgrade. The cataclysm is still in its infancy. Monsters are not strong, so we need to hunt down the weak monsters while they are still weak. This will not only increase your experience and level, it can also train your mana. And you have a good physique. Can defeat level 25 monsters. They're below level 20. Okay, the tutorial is over. Now you will need to survive on your own. I broke the seat with my bare hands, made a few handy weapons, but I don't want to expose myself, so I borrowed a mask from an angel, because fighting would disable my hidden abilities. Then I jumped from the 18th floor, trampled a giant praying mantis to death with one kick. At this time, the system prompts, kill a level 13 mantis and gain 800 EXP. Level 3, stamina and mana increased by 2. Strength and dexterity increased by 3. Just as I was happy to increase a bit of mana, a few giant flies and ants are bothering me. I'll throw a fly first and disintegrate instantly. Then he took out another weapon and split the ant in half. Suddenly a mosquito who had no martial arts ethics attacked, forcibly pressed me to the ground and poked me. But my 1,000-year-old body, how can this little proboscis be pierced? Kill it with a backhand, but just this little gap in time. I was surrounded by all kinds of giant insects. At this time, a lightning strike killed one, and then smashed the other one to smithereens. A mage wearing a mask like me came. Destroy monsters together. We have a tacit understanding that one person is in charge of one side. The battle was quickly resolved, and that got me to level 7. The belated army was very surprised to see this scene, but what was even more incredible to them was, someone is digging the monster's butt. When the experience points of the earth are full, when evolving to the next stage, God sends everyone to other worlds for refuge, but only abandoned me for 1,000 years. The first thing I did when I came back, it's actually going to dig the monster's butt. Just when facing the 100-level beast tide, my 1,000-year power is actually not as good as a junior mage. When I was still cutting one by one, he can kill a large area with one spell. Is this the result of people learning magic in another world for 10 years? As soon as they came back to Earth, they were capable of fighting the beast tide, although he was wearing a mask. But I can also guess that it is the queen on the wall list in another world. But I have been practicing for thousands of years. Except for no magic, everything else can. And it stopped. And angels came to Earth, just to make up for my only flaw. As the last monster was killed by me, I also successfully reached level 7. At this moment I am at the peak of butchery. Successfully get the Philosopher's Stone from the monster's butt. He can not only enhance his own magic, equipment can also be given corresponding attributes. The Queen saw my skillful approach. He is willing to pay 40% for me to help him deal with the monster, because not everyone does the dirty work of unpacking, and they're all used to using magic. And the Philosopher's Stone can't be taken out by magic. So I went through each monster, removed the part given to him. The harvest is also not bad. When you put away your weapons and take the spoils, Hidden Shadow skill takes effect automatically. Everyone is looking for my trace. I suddenly felt a sense of loss. That's why I missed the chance to learn magic. Then I took the spoils, deep in the mountains and old forests, ready to build some protective gear. But I want to give the equipment extra attributes, in addition to being related to the quality of the Philosopher's Stone and the blessing of mana. It also needs its own will to grant it the desired ability. That is to say, it requires mana forging to grant additional special abilities. But it's not worth it. I still want to try it. My full level of forging soon made a pair of bracers, and the angels taught me the basics of magic. When everything is ready, I use the magic of the Philosopher's Stone as an introduction, force it into attributes, and the ability I want is the sickle mantis. But it wasn't made until the Philosopher's Stone was exhausted. Sure enough, there is no power to succeed. On the occasion of failure, Angel shot, and with just a little bit of mana, he cast it for me. I happily tried the effect. The power is not bad. After a day of fighting, I also went home to rest. By the time I started school the next day, I'm on the news. And the news is that the government wants to create a union of capable people. Although it is a good welfare and good resources, but in my opinion, it can be better controlled. But I'm not interested in that. Grab your favorite weapon and go out. Yesterday was no weapon at hand. Just got poked by a mosquito. But here's what really bothers me. The Queen's ability to use mana. His first level mage actually has such strong magic. Even though my rank has risen, I can't use mana either. Now the angel is keenly aware. There is a level 35 Wolf King nearby. I just found out that the earth at this time is not normal. Beast tied on the first day after reset. The next day, a level 35 Wolf King appeared, but it's not right. Perhaps for some unknown reason, distorting the flow of time on Earth. Cause people to stay in another world for 10 years, became 1,000 years on Earth. Although time has now been reset, animals that used to live only 10 years lived 1,000 years. Now the monsters on Earth have undergone tremendous changes, much stronger than other people in other worlds. Then the angel took me all the way to find the trace of the Wolf King. But by the time they got there, it was a mess. There were scenes of people being hunted and killed everywhere. I saw the Wolf Cub to stories high and somehow got a little excited. I'll cross-dress and join the fight right away. Jump from the 18th floor. A depth charge was piled on the wolves. That was a blast. Directly soared by 2 levels. Then rescue passers-by in the mouth of Wolfang. Immediately after, a carousel solved too. As the battle intensified, seeing that the Wolf Boy is not my opponent, the Wolf King let out a roar. In an instant, more than a dozen wolves surrounded me. Wolves are truly at the top of the food chain on land. So orderly and wild. But it was me they met. I haven't been in vain for 1,000 years. 1 trick, 2 tricks, 3 moves to solve the battle. The Wolf King is actually taking hostages. Is this a genius? And wasn't he stepping on the person I just saved? This unlucky man. But that's not going to change. After the earth was upgraded, wolves evolved into demons. Not only can you call the wolves to encircle the enemy, they also take people hostage. Even tried to threaten me to surrender. I'm not used to him. I took my spear and threw it with my 1,000-year-old unicorn arm. You don't need to look to know this power. The entire Wolf head was pierced. Also gained 6,700 experience points. The other Wolf cubs saw this scene and broke out in sweat. But there is still an iron Wolf rushing over. I hit a unicorn in the left arm, and he was looking for his teeth all over the place. Then sweep the legs. Sweeping Wolf cubs are 7 meats and 8 vegetables. This is the result of my 1,000 years of cultivation. Proficient in various martial arts and boxing techniques. Just after taking out all the wolves, the system also prompts me that I can change jobs. If you don't change your job, the level will no longer be promoted. At this point the army came to take over the scene, but I don't have time for that. Went straight to the wolves and skillfully disposed of the corpses. Sell wolf skins and wolf bones to the army. The Philosopher's Stone goes into the bag by itself. But the army wants to win me over. Actually gave 20% more than the market price to buy my stuff. I adhere to the principle of making money without making bastards. Pick up the money and disappear in place. I went to a quiet place. Start my career transition. After clicking on it, a dazzling array of professions will pop up. When looking at the profession of an assassin, swipe away in fear. If my hidden shadow skill, plus the assassin's stealth skills, then I would literally disappear in place. Looking at dozens of career options, I asked the angels for their opinion. He recommended me as a spearman and a fighter. 1. My weapon is a spear. 2nd, my thousands of years of practice are inseparable from physical exercise. Maximize my strengths. I think again, or choose the spearman, on the occasion of choice. A new option suddenly appears in the system, just when I didn't know what to do. The angel explained to me, this is only one's own attributes that are completely compatible with the profession. New career that can be triggered. It is also a special profession that belongs only to you. Although it is more difficult to improve, but still your best choice. So, I decided to choose it. Now my body has changed. Not only stronger, the stains on the body were also removed. The system also sent a prompt that the job transfer was successful. Hidden Shadow attack plus 10%. Lance attack power increased by 10%. The evolution path for Hidden Shadow and Lance skills is open. Level 18. Strength life mana increased by 11 points each. Agility increased by 12 points. But I can't use mana at the moment. Will not be able to learn attack skills, but my panel properties are good. Agility has exceeded 100, but Hidden Shadow is an active skill, so I can't control it yet. However, the martial arts spear slaughter is not expected to be at full level. There are even 5 more attribute points for each level of improvement. This is a reward for being 1,000 years behind. Now my profession is a Shadowy Spearman. This prefix obscures my career. It's like not being able to see into the future. And also turned on the mission system. Everyone who changes jobs here is called a power user. Both need to do tasks to hunt monsters. The reward will also be determined according to the difficulty of the task. Received a message soon. This is the 4th day of the return. The task is the brown bear in front of you. High-rise buildings are like toys in his eyes, and the special bullets can't hurt him in the slightest. The moment I put on my gear, Hidden Shadow's skill and Lance's skill take effect at the same time. I use the feature of the latent shadow. Silently came to the top of the brown bear. One shot at the bear's head, but only a scar remains. The angel explained, this level 50 brown bear has been listed as a type 2 monster. It's hard for you to kill him now. At this moment, the bear rushed towards me in anger. You flick your fingernails in my face. I dodged sideways. Then find the opportunity to stab his bear claw. Then Big Bear hit me back with a big pounding. I dodged the blow with 100% agility, and then get out of the fight while the smoke fills the air. Entered a hidden state, and an angel on my head is like a roller coaster. But I remembered the training process with Rita 1,000 years ago. Then look for opportunities again. Use the method Rita taught me, condensing power into a point. Stab hard at the scar on the bear head. With a scream, the bear fell to the ground. At this time, the system prompts. Level 50 for brown bear hunted gain 12,900 for EXP. Level raised to level 23. Increase strength by 8. Dexterity 7. 5 points each for life and mana. Also learn critical strike skills. If you target the enemy's vital point, it increases the chance of being fatal by 10%. That's the nature of my new career. Everything I do will contribute to the development of skills. Have a great impact on your own growth, including fighting monsters and interacting with others. But now is the time to slaughter, because the corpses of monsters are full of treasures. While preparing for autopsy, the other powers are coming. They saw a Type 2 monster being killed. Not only not surprised, instead, he teased. Type 2 monsters can only be used to move their muscles and bones. It seems that anyone who can reach the power user has to brushes. And one of them came up to me and pretended to be cool. Say you better remember my name. I will surpass you on the second transfer. One day, I will be better than everyone else. I replied with a sneer. Can you only become stronger if you compete with others? If you want to become stronger, you should be yourself. I wouldn't dare to show off myself even if I trained for 1,000 years. After saying that, I will deal with my baby without looking back. Although the best bear skin is harvested, and fortunately, the Philosopher's Stone was not released. And this is when an officer came along and told me a bunch of stuff. The simple understanding is that there is no need to cooperate with the official, a network where all monster information can be shared. The lieutenant-level officer is indeed not a fool, still have some eyesight. If the military tries to force me to cooperate, then their fate may lie at my feet. Sir, can you share the top secret files with me? It's suboptimal, because psychics like us usually don't go to what they call a union. And we can also help them share some pressure from monsters. It just so happens that I also need information to do the task. Kill two birds with one stone. I looked at the newly installed Monster Information Network. I didn't know which one to kill first, but kids do. I decided to kill all three together. First the giant rats in the northwest, and the north face sawtooth mantis. Finally, the bird from the southeast. Although the materials processed were eventually sold to the military. But these little bosses just got me a level up. After a tiring day, I went home to rest. But the next day saw the official emergency martial law. From now on, the world will implement the decree. All schools and businesses are closed because the monster is too strong. On the fourth day, more than 50 level 2 monsters appeared. It's a unilateral killing, but the angels have also taken corresponding measures. It can bring people back to another world. Reward for completing tasks. At the same time, he also evaded the pursuit of the monsters in this world. But I'm not happy, because only I can't go to that world. I will live alone again. But I'm not that selfish. Parents are clearly not safe here. So, I advised my parents to live in another world. The father said as if he had seen through something. Never give up. Do your best. Until the last moment. After that, it was passed on to another world. My mother made a hearty breakfast to eat with me. And he said to me meaningfully, "Are you the one who chased the monster with the mask on? No matter how you pretend, I know it's you." Is this the unique skill parents have with their children? Like a mother penguin who knows where her baby is all the time. The mother continued, "I know you are strong, can deal with monsters, but the only thing scarier than monsters is the human heart. So always be on guard against others." And I was listening. Listen to the only order in 1,000 years. After the instructions, Mom also passed it on to another world. And now the angel will leave me, go to heaven for access to more rewards. But don't relax now. I'm planning for the future. So with all the money I had, I bought a warehouse, built into a new stronghold. I will handle various materials and forged items here. I don't know how long it has been. The angels are back. She's grown up. I still haven't figured out what's going on. The angel directly asked me to extend my hand to him. He is a higher angel sent by God, but he has lived on earth with mortals for thousands of years. Just because the earth is about to enter the era of cataclysm, in order to cope with the arrival of countless monsters, God sent 8 billion world to learn magic. But since I have the passive skill of hidden shadow, caused me to be forgotten by God, and I became a straggler, Rita came to accompany me at the behest of God. Fortunately, time on Earth is at rest. After 1,000 years, humans have finally returned to Earth. However, over the course of 1,000 years, the animals on Earth have also become terrifying monsters. Therefore, God opened the channel to another world again. It allows people to gain experience and upgrade safely in other worlds. Although I have to live alone again, but I also don't want my parents to be hurt. So I suggested that they go to another world to avoid danger. And Lisa is going to the sky. Received the reward from the previous mission for me. During the time he left, I built a new stronghold with the money I had, working with all kinds of materials here. A few days later, Angel Lisa returned, and he turned out to be in his real body. And then he reached out his hand and he offered to reward me for this mission. When holding Lisa's hand, instantly prompt that the Heaven Agent task has been completed. Reward all attributes +1. Acquire the Eternal Flame at the same time. When I was about to ask what the Eternal Flame is, but I saw Lisa wipe her hands with disgust and said, "Eternal Flame." As the name implies, it is a flame that never goes out. It is not only the most precious flame in heaven, it is still a necessary tool for forging advanced equipment. And more importantly, Rita handpicked it for you. Hearing this, I said happily, she still knows what I need as always. This time Lisa is back in the sky. I also investigated the reason why the monster became stronger. Because God used his power to stop time, causing all creatures on Earth to be affected by his power. Creatures have become more powerful and violent over the millennia. And then Angel Lisa gave me a new assignment. That is to create a destruction trap. It automatically draws monsters in, and then trap them like a dungeon. Destroy all the monsters. It's also the only way out of the Earth's predicament. Certainly. The harder the task, the bigger the reward. Thinking that the monster will corral humans on day 4. If you let it go, the monster will be more unscrupulous. But Lisa seems to have known my decision long ago. Then he took out a sack full of materials. It's not just the philosopher's stone like an ostrich egg. There are also 3 kinds of metal materials exclusive to heaven. But I was even happier. The best set of tools in heaven. And finally, this complicated blueprint. These high-level items instantly triggered the forging vein in my body. At the same time, I asked Lisa to prepare my reward in advance. Seeing this, Lisa smiled slightly. She said this reward would definitely surprise me. Hearing that, I directly changed into a forging dress. Just watch me perform in silence. Then I took out the largest philosopher's stone and fed it to the eternal fire. After the flames have completely dissolved the philosopher's stone. So I took out my hammer and I hit it 992 times. And then I made this little square. Lisa looked at my forging skills in amazement. I sighed with emotion that if I changed my profession to blacksmith, perhaps we can create weapons that challenge the gods. But this is just the beginning of the trap. Below, you need to engrave special lines according to the drawings. And watch me take things seriously. Lisa also seems to understand that Rita is a higher angel, but you will be infatuated with the mood of a lower human being. A few hours later, I abruptly put down the knife, and in my hands, one shines, and blocks with complex patterns float. At the same time, I have been awarded the title of Legendary Creator. The effect is to increase productivity by 20%. Now look at the magic cube in my hand. Lisa's eyes were full of disbelief. He couldn't believe I'd done it so quickly. But in fact, I did a full 5 hours. Hearing this, Lisa realized. He has been watching me work for so long. After taking the cube in your hand, Lisa knew I made it perfectly. But for fear that I would be too proud, and he told me it was just about right. Now, we only need the last step of divine power skills. But this needs to wait for Lisa to call his companion to help. When I was hopeful that Rita would come out too, the next second, other angels appeared. They were discussing the details of the divine arts together. At the same time, I also feel a mere human can create this destruction trap. When everything is ready, I held the energy stone and waited for 3 angels. But they just said, I just need the will to complete the destruction trap. Leave the rest to them. Soon 3 angels put their hands on my shoulder. The next second, a wave of divine power from all directions was pressing down on me. This is the power of higher creatures. The powerful divine force seems to be about to crush me completely. See my sad face? The long-haired angel said with a chuckle. Can't you stand it at this level? And I immediately contradicted that. It's not even close. I have to concentrate. Make something that is very tempting to monsters. Something that animals who have been lonely for thousands of years cannot refuse. After I determine the will to give, an energy burst out of me in an instant. With a burst of bright light, a more complex square slowly emerged. There are also 2 rare attributes attached to it, alpha coefficient and beta. They are randomly attached attribute strips when the ruler uses divine power skills. This will greatly enhance the power of the trap. The angels all praised my forging skills. The next step is to work with the angels to place traps. But as soon as I went out, I saw this doomsday scene. I didn't expect it to only take a few days. Monsters destroyed the earth like this. After a while, the angels were on the empty mountain, found a suitable placement point. I saw Lisa throw the square in her hand. The divine power cube in midair instantly emitted powerful energy. But in the next second, the cube suddenly turned into dust. Then I felt a violent shaking. At the same time, the monsters seemed to be attracted by something. Then they ran frantically in groups in the direction of the trap. And the angels call this trap a dungeon. It looks like the effect is far beyond expectations. The long-haired angel once again affirmed my talent for making traps. Lisa activated the dungeons in other areas at the same time, although those dungeons can no longer be used before. But Lisa has used magic. Transformed the dungeon breath I made into the past. After chatting with them, I looked down at these monsters marching towards death. There is some sadness in my heart. They also lived like me for 1,000 years. But in the end, it is still easily at the mercy of angels and gods. And it's the same with humans. There is no room for resistance at all. Was instantly teleported to another world. We are all toys in the palm of God. After all, it was a mistake. I was left alone on Earth for 1,000 years. If there were no Rita in this 1,000 years, I might have gone crazy. But now even Rita's not with me. So, I want to become stronger. Strong enough not to be pushed around by anyone. Not bound by anything. Only one day can we achieve true and complete freedom. Earth enters the age of cataclysm. Ordinary animals have become monsters hundreds of meters away. Not only become bulletproof, it is necessary to directly swallow the tank. But all of this is just a mistake by God. Fortunately, the angels brought the blueprints for a dungeon. When I made the trap to destroy the monster, many monsters on Earth have also gone extinct, but it's still dangerous. So father and mother didn't come back. However, with their wealth of social experience, I think I can live a good life in another world. And after making the dungeon, Lisa has transformed into a smaller version of the previous one to assist me. There were 27 more dungeons to be made to stabilize the situation on Earth, but those angels have already gone back. Lisa explains this. It takes a lot of magic to create a destruction trap like this, and the previous 3 angels have exhausted their magic. It will take a few days to recover. Hearing this, I asked him if he could let another angel come down, like the angel Rita I miss in my heart. And Lisa was so quick to put an end to my delusions. Rita, because she gave me the back door. I have a lot of work on me now, so I can't come to Earth for the time being. After asking some questions about Rita, I decided to go to the base workshop to do some preparatory work first. When I came here, I suddenly felt a lot more motivated. Let's make a few traps today. Wait until the angels come back to perfect. But at this time, Lisa looked at the materials on the table and began to think. In light of my previous outstanding performance, Lisa decided to give me a small gift. Then she uses magic. Improve the quality of the hides I get. Now look at these perfect hides in your hands. I want to forge equipment more than I want to make traps. Soon after measuring the animal skin, I'm going to make it into gloves and boots. After a period of beating treatment, kung fu for a while, I got rare direwolf gloves and leather boots. Since this defensive equipment is too stuffy to wear, so I put ventilation on it. Lisa looked at me and finished it so quickly. She was surprised that my skills had improved so quickly. The next step is to use the previously obtained bear skin as armor. And Lisa was watching me at work, smiling with relief. But she didn't expect me to do it for a whole day. Even as an angel, Lisa is a little sleepy, but I'm not ready to rest yet. Because armor is the main life-saving equipment, it has to be good enough. A few hours later, my exclamation made Lisa lose sleep. At this point, a unique level of hard bearskin armor appeared, but it's not done yet. I'm going to attach some special attacks to him. Then he used the teeth and bones of the direwolf to strengthen the armor. Enhanced armor not only doubles its attributes, it also comes with another hidden skill. When armor is attacked in melee combat, he will automatically pop spikes to counterattack. But Lisa combined many of my previous designs, and he noticed that I kind of like this kind of thing that pops toughness. I saw him asking me in confusion, and I got very serious about this. Lisa thought it was me, or the reason why the parents have a grudge against the hedgehog. But in my opinion, this design is unique to men's romance. Hearing this, Lisa was also instantly speechless. He thought I had some special meaning. I didn't expect it to be just such a strange reason. After Enhanced Edition, the armor also has alpha coefficients and beta properties attached to it. Almost all the materials are used now. Only a few remains of animal bones remain, so I made half of it into a bone knife for disposing of monster corpses. The other part of the bone is to make a new mask for yourself. After putting on all the finished equipment, I instantly felt much more handsome. But right now, huge vibration from outside. It even affected me and Lisa. And Lisa did some soul searching. Then he also said in disbelief, "This is the army fighting monsters." Hearing this, my face suddenly changed. The dungeon has been installed in my area, but there are still monsters outside. Soon the alarm came in. It turned out that a second-level monster appeared on the block. Hearing Lisa here also understands. The dungeon did not trap all the second-level monsters, so I went to deal with him. I just hope the other party is a little weaker than the previous brown bear. But before the battle, let's re-strengthen the steel gun first. Soon I had forged the steel gun to a unique level. Also accidentally gave it a 20% critical hit probability. After being fully prepared, I quickly rushed towards the scene of the incident. Soon Lisa discovered the purpose of our trip. Standing on the ruins ahead, it is a behemoth that is hundreds of meters high. This terrifying cheetah shoots down the fighter on the spot with one palm. Even the anti-tank rockets used by the army had no effect on it. The next second, the cheetah pounced directly on the soldiers on the ground. I thought everyone had been teleported back to the safe world. However, the soldiers and some of the first-time job changers still stayed. They could have gone to another world to upgrade safely, but he chose to stay on Earth and fight. But they did a really good job. If the Earth and country I live in are gone, then even if you can go to another world, it doesn't make any sense. I have never claimed to be a savior, but if more people could survive, then let me fight until the last moment. Thinking of this, I quickly killed the monster, and his strength is obviously much higher than the previous brown bear. At the same time, army tanks also fired directly at it. A violent explosion instantly rose above the monster's head. However, it only made him feel a little pain. Then the angry monster immediately raised the tank. I will swallow it in one bite on the spot. And I also jumped on top of the monster at this moment. Benefit from the effect of hidden shadow. The monster didn't notice me the first time. The next second, the spear in my hand stabbed the monster fiercely. This attack triggered the steel gun's critical strike attribute. When you see me fighting monsters again, the people around seem to have found their lost courage, and the monster that suffered my violent blow powerlessly abandoned the tank. But then I felt a strong sense of crisis. The monster didn't take fatal damage. In his anger, he endured great pain and grabbed me, but luckily, I managed to dodge it. The soldiers took advantage of the monster's trauma, shot the monster with a rainstorm of bullets on the spot, and I went after the tank that had just been thrown away. Because there are also two soldiers who are not afraid of death. Pull the top of the tank. I told them to catch me and get out of here. After rescuing them, I jumped in the air. In the next second, it fell heavily to the ground. Surviving soldiers panting and thanking me. He even said he wanted to be my big fan. But the relieved monster obviously noticed me too. It looks like he's ready to take on his worst enemy first. Seeing this, I asked the two soldiers behind me to leave first. And Lisa said worriedly, I've been locked into the breath by the monster. Therefore, hidden shadow cannot be activated either. Hearing that, I told him not to worry, because when I came, I was ready to take him head on. Just as the battle between us is about to begin, a terrifying thunderbolt fell from the sky. The next second, the lightning went straight to the monster's head. The person who came was the famous queen among many human beings. At this moment, he took off his mask and appeared in his true face. And he also has another resounding alienation title, Thunder Lady. The girl is still a talented Thunder Empress. Not only does it control the ultimate power of lightning, it can also exert a powerful buff lightning spirit on others. But when he appeared in his true colors, but everyone present was impressed by his appearance. However, the cheetah who took the blow of the Empress. You want to take me as a vent target? The status quo I'm not afraid of at all. A random backward jump dodged this terrifying offensive, but the cheetah caught me in the air, hit me hard with the head on the spot. Seeing this scene, the female emperor on the plane sweated for me, but the people below soon realized that something was wrong. So, I didn't get hit, but deliberately lure the cheetah to attack me, then use the armor's additional skills to counterattack. The sudden spike caused the cheetah to take another heavy blow. The next minute, he's running like crazy. Want to dump me? It smashed into the building in front of it, but I saw through his intentions long ago. How could he possibly get his wish? Jumping into the air, I took advantage of the strength to pounce on the cheetah. The next moment, the steel gun reached a critical strike again, then suddenly pierced the cheetah's body, injured repeatedly. At this moment, the cheetah is already a little hard to resist. Seeing this, the tanks of the army also opened fire on him. And the first-class people on the ground also rushed up one after another. Originally a first-class attack, it doesn't work at all on the monsters of the second session. But even an elephant will also be defeated by the bones of 1,000,000 ants. What's more, the current cheetah is no longer at its peak. I thought that at this moment, the cheetah is no longer able to struggle. I didn't want Lisa to tell me to hurry up and get the knife repaired, because this leopard is currently attempting to evolve to level 3. Soon the cheetah's wound mutated horribly. It's grown tentacles. This is a sign of evolution. Now his evolution is not over yet. If you don't get rid of the tentacles, take the opportunity to kill him, the consequences would be unimaginable. The Empress in the sky also launched an attack at this time, but even if struck by lightning, cheetah tentacles are still growing fast. Seeing this, the Empress understood that the level gap with the monster was too great. His attack cannot kill at all, but soon he figured out a way. Then the Empress said he could buff me, but this magic will drain all his divine power, and he wasn't sure if I could kill the monster. But time waits for no man. I immediately asked him to try quickly. Hearing this, the Empress no longer hesitated, jumped out of a plane the next second. In an instant, the Empress suddenly fell in front of me. Tell me about the buff. The Empress stood up, At the same time, a powerful lightning force slowly gathered in his hands. When the Empress's magic works on me, the system quickly prompted me that I had obtained the spirit of thunder and lightning. In this state, my attack movement speed and critical hit will be greatly increased, and there is a certain probability of lightning damage when attacking, but it will bring certain negative effects after the end. Look at all the improvements in me. Neither did Lisa. The Empress actually has such a powerful buff magic. I feel an unprecedented power in my body. Then I suddenly broke all the tentacles. At the same time, it fiercely pierced through the body of the monster. The next moment, the incidental lightning damage was triggered and faced the blow of my buff. The monster was finally killed by me. The experience I gained also brought me to level 28. When the fight was over, I just slumped on the ground, and Lisa was complimenting me on what I was doing. The Empress is still watching to see if the cheetah is dead. I'm wondering if he didn't get experience points. And so the Empress told me I didn't team up with him. Therefore, he cannot gain experience. I was dumbfounded when I heard that. Because I've been alone, this is the first time I have known about this system. Lisa thinks a lonely person like me doesn't need to form a team, so there's no need to know. After confirming the death of the monster, people below started cheering. But soon it was time to divide the spoils. The dead cheetahs have shrunk a lot, but just as these people were about to do it, and I stopped them. And when it comes to splitting the spoils, I should have the most. After that, I also asked the Empress how to distribute it fairly, and I thought about it. The Empress thinks I deserve 60%. He takes 20%. The rest will go and share the last share. I am very satisfied with his allocation. So I turned around and looked at the others. See, no one came forward to refute. I jumped straight to the top of the cheetah. From his body in the next second, he took out a magic stone that was close to level 3. After getting the goods, I asked the Empress's wishes again. He also agreed with me to take the magic stone, because that's exactly 60%. The rest of us couldn't accept it. After all, this is a high-level magic stone. See this scene. Lisa is even less hopeful about these first-tier people. And I remembered what my mother taught me. When there is a dispute, fist is the best communication tool. Then, I directly smashed the magic stone back into the monster's body. Then let these people divide it up. But if my share is any less, then no one here can leave safely. Feel the weight of my terror. Everyone woke up a lot, so they all agreed with me to take the magic stone. I smiled when I heard that. Sure enough, in the era of cataclysm, the sky and the earth are not as big as fists. When I went to retrieve the magic stone again, the Empress asked me to handle his share of materials. The reward is 40% for me, and he only wants the leopard skin. Give me all the bones. And I said yes. And pretty soon, I was skinning a lot of animals, but because the quantity is too large, the Empress began to call someone to bring him back. The rest of the people want to be like the Empress when they see this, but I don't have a good face for them, and they kept pegging me. They want to get the loot quickly and go to another world, but this time I need to take 50% of all materials. In desperation, everyone had to promise me. After processing all materials, I'm ready to go home. But the Empress stopped me. He also said that my invisibility is very strong. If you don't concentrate, you almost don't notice me. And the reason he stopped me was to team up with me, and I rejected him. Fortunately, the Empress is not entangled, because he will continue to fight on Earth. Maybe you'll see me more often in the future. Then he handed me a business card. Let me contact him at any time if I have anything. After saying that, the Empress turned around and left. I didn't know until I got the business card. It turns out that the Empress's name is Millennium, but I'm not going to contact him. So, I put the business card in my pocket and obtained so much material. So Lisa and I got ready to go home. Next, we have to continue to build a lot of things.